everybody, welcome to Rachel's Reviews, and this is very exciting. We are continuing on my series where I'm talking with the animators of Sundance. I love doing this every year for Sundance is because I love animation and I love talking to animators. And today we have with us Grace Ann, the animator and director of Cabbage Daddy, the new short coming to Sundance. And Grace, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so this is your first time on the show, so why don't you introduce yourself to us and tell us a little bit about how you got started making films and animating.
Yeah, of course. My name is Grace Ann. I am the director of Cabbage Daddy, which is premiering at this year's Sundance. I'm an animator. I animated the entire film,
Hmm.
and I guess I had quite a boring path. I got introduced to animation quite young, from a family friend, and that's what I studied in. Although there were a few kind of different trajectories along the way. I initially studied fine arts, and then decided to graduate from film animation in the end. And since then, I've been working various jobs. And I don't think I really planned on being an animation filmmaker because when I was in school, I kind of wanted to do a more stable path and get a job in a studio, but I just kept going with what I was good at and where I kind of found opportunities and happened to become a filmmaker.
So, did you have particular animated films that inspired you growing up that were favorites of yours?
Favorites? I mean, I think the first time I was introduced to more experimental animation and um, kind of discovered what was possible was when that family friend was he probably babysitting me, honestly. I thought he was just hanging out, but introduced me to NFB films and I think one in particular is like Walking by Ryan Larkin and like Frederick Back films. And
Mhm.
that's when, I was probably a young teenager by then and only had watched kind of more mainstream animation. And so that's when I realized I was like, oh, this is,
There's a
um,
whole lot.
yeah, it's like a moving painting. I can, because I was like, oh, I'm going to be a painter when I grow up. But then I was like, oh, there's so much more you can do with animation, I thought at the time.
Were you somebody that was always sketching or painting, would
Yeah,
you
and I
say?
think looking around, if you see artists and even going to art school, most of those people there are had been drawing or had been
Hmm.
in love with art their whole lives, their whole young lives, and that was the case for me. It wasn't hard because both my parents are also artists, and I would credit
Oh,
a
that's
lot of
nice.
yeah, my a lot of my drawing skills I think came from my dad teaching me begrudgingly. But I think it's made me a better
Mhm.
drawer.
So tell the audience listening a little bit about Cabbage Daddy. What can they expect in this short?
So I would say that Cabbage Daddy is very fast and
Hmm.
perhaps confusing. It's I hope not boring. I think I wanted to make a film in the attention economy, so it is quite chaotic. It's about mistranslations in
Hmm.
Korean and English, so there's a lot of voices and words going back and forth, and the scenes cut quite abruptly.
How'd you get the idea for this? How did it come about?
I think so. The idea came about I would say probably 5 years ago. I was working on another film, my first film outside of school, and that was about language. And there are a lot of common themes. I don't like to share that project very much because it was quite embarrassing.
Got
But
to start somewhere, right?
yeah, exactly. I think I'm proud of it in different ways, and I think it's unique in its own way, but I think from what I know I'm capable of, it was just very different. And also it was live action. It was on Super 8, and
Oh,
I
wow.
think that's a part of
Oh.
yeah, like as an animator, I'm like, oh, don't watch that film. It doesn't count. But it was about language, and it also has like it experimented with subtitling, which is
Hmm.
kind of something I carried on with Cabbage Daddy. And there was a lot of mistrans just like growing up as a diasporic Korean. I was born in Toronto, Canada, but my parents are Korean immigrants. And so, as like a lot of immigrant children probably relate to this as well, or anyone kind of growing up in a bilingual household, it can get there can be many mistakes made in daily conversations. And I thought some of them were funny, like just having conversations with my parents. And so I started keeping a document of funny word correlations and homonyms, and that became the script for Cabbage Daddy.
Okay. Yeah. So that's where you got these mistranslations.
Hmm.
Okay. I was wondering where you heard those from. Yeah. So the style, it kind of looks like crayon drawing to me. Was that what you were going for, or what was that? How did you come up with that sort of aesthetic?
Yeah, as I was saying, like it's kind of the film came from common misunderstandings when I was talking to my parents in Korean. I think I wanted to illustrate that with a bit of naivety, and I think kind of mimicking children's drawings. And so, of course, I thought to use crayons because it really reflects my own experiences growing up. And so, although there are some common puns or correlations in Korean English that a lot of Korean English speakers would already know about, some of them were quite um, uncommon and ones that I just personally struggled with. So I think it is coming from my own perspective, and I kind of just wanted to uh, encapsulate that with the use of crayons. Although, I mean, initially I just wanted to use crayons. And so when I was doing the kind of initial sketches, that's what I wanted. But when I scanned all my drawings, and when I did, I found that crayons were actually not as saturated. So I did use pastels in certain scenes
Okay.
just to like get it to pop out a little bit more.
Yeah, that's cool. So you did the drawings and then you scanned them in and then into the software that you then use to animate.
Yeah,
Um,
and I think when I tell my technique to some other animators, they're
mhm.
surprised that I don't use an under camera setup, so like a camera and then shoot
Yeah.
all my frames. But
Hmm.
um, I personally just I guess I'm fast at scanning, and I don't find it to be so troublesome. It just makes my
Yeah.
like my scanner is very dirty from all the pastels and other
Hmm.
animations I've worked on. And also it's done on paper, but it's manipulated digitally quite heavily. Like I've done a lot
Hmm.
of work on the computer with the animation. It's
Sure.
not all done on
Right.
paper. Yeah.
Do you know how many drawings you ended up doing? Did you keep track?
I don't know. I would say like so my stack of papers are uh quite large,
Yeah.
but that's not counting for all the drawings that didn't make it
Okay.
to the film, so I'm not sure exactly, but
Yeah.
it I need to find a box to
Yeah.
put them in, and I don't know where to put them. I don't have a lot of closet space in my home, so maybe I should sell those frames, or I don't know, get rid of them somehow, but there's a lot.
Yeah. Are you a fan of Rachel's Reviews? Do you look forward to Family Movie Night, Female Film Critics panels, or the Talking Disney podcast? If so, please consider supporting the podcast by becoming a Patreon. As a patron, you get to access monthly events such as the watch-alongs and Q&As, where you get to talk to stars and find out the behind the scenes of the movie making industry. And you can pick what I review for Family Movie Night or even become a guest on the podcast. Podcasts and YouTube channels are expensive, and I really, really could use your help. I would so appreciate it. You also get to be a member of the Facebook group where we talk about all the films that we're seeing, and we have so much fun. Go to patreon.com/hallmarkies and select one of the Rachel's fan tiers. That's patreon.com/hallmarkies. Were the human characters they showed, were those based on anyone in particular, or
Oh,
uh,
I'm glad you asked that. No, they aren't. I actually had some difficulty coming up with the character designs because when I initially came up with the script, I didn't think like it's not a narrative. There aren't or initially there it wasn't supposed to be a narrative, although there
mhm.
are kind of recurring characters that happened accidentally. But when I was in pre-production, I didn't think I needed character designs because I thought, well, there's not going to be that many characters. It's not really going to be as figurative as it turned out. But as I was working, I was like, oh, there are quite a few characters and it's not really cohesive because I was just animating sporadically. And so I think that, they don't really match all the time. And I was really struggling, but there's like a running scene where there's three characters running. And because I didn't have a character sheet, I kind of drew that so many times and couldn't figure it out and decided that I'm just going to give all the male characters bowl cuts. And that's what ended up happening. And they all just had the bowl cuts throughout the film.
Well, that makes it easier. Yeah. Um, so what do you hope people take away from the movie, the short?
I hope that people find it funny. I hope they have a good time watching it, and that even throughout the process of working on this, like a lot of uh, friends and people who have watched the process have shared their stories or like their kind of homonyms that they have with their languages that they speak. And that's been the most rewarding part of the feedback, just getting it like for the film to um, bring forth more conversations on language. And I just love to hear that it's resonated with other people. That's very important to me.
Mhm. That's great. You must have been so excited to get into Sundance.
Yeah, I didn't think it was real at first. I
Yeah,
thought it was
like
spam
that.
when I got the call and email. So even after we got accepted for like, I think a month, I thought they were gonna take it away somehow. Like
All
before it was
right.
announced, really, the whole time I was getting nightmares that it was all a hoax or it never happened. I dreamt
Yeah.
the whole thing. So
You're like, you can't take it back.
yeah. So rather than excited, I was mostly just worried that they were going to take it away from me.
Had you ever applied before? Was this your first?
No, this is
Okay.
actually
Yeah.
my first like official selection internationally. I've
Yeah.
screened at Canadian festivals, but this is my first international selection.
That's so cool. Yeah, that's great. Well, congratulations. I
Thank you.
enjoyed watching it, and I hope you have a great time at the festival. So we like to end our interviews with some fun, get to know you, rapid fire little questions. So the first question is, what is the best ice cream flavor?
The best ice cream flavor. So I'm quite boring. I like vanilla
Okay.
and like kind of I don't know, I guess old people flavors like walnut. And I used to like I grew up in a convenience store and
Okay.
in the countryside in Ontario and we had We sold Kawartha dairy ice cream, which if you've never had it, it's the best ice cream. And as a teenager, I would hate having to scoop the chocolate ice creams because they were really tough and it hurt my hand. But I used to sneak in some walnuts, maple walnut
That
or
sounds
vanilla.
good.
Yeah,
Mm.
so those are my two favorites.
So I have to ask this as a tangent, but did you see Kim's Convenience? Were you a fan?
I've actually never seen it. I should,
Okay,
but
I would be
everyone keeps
very
telling me.
curious what you think.
Yeah,
Because it's all
I
about Canadian Korean
yeah,
family that run a, you know,
that's
convenience
exactly
store.
my upbringing. I'm sure there are differences. I think the daughter, the character,
Uh-huh.
show and play, went to OCAD or goes to OCAD in the show, and that's I
Yeah,
also did
yeah.
my master's there, so very
You'll
similar.
probably either hate it or like it, one or the other, because it's probably so close to home. I
Right.
loved it. I thought it
Yeah,
was such a great show, but yeah, if you ever see it, you have to let me know what you
I will.
think.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's on Netflix if you ever.
Okay.
Yeah, but what music are you into?
What music am I into? I guess it goes all over the place, and I know that's not a like fair answer. I would say, okay, so um what did my Spotify Wrapped say? I think it said that I was into alternative folk.
Okay,
I'm not sure if that's accurate, but that's what Spotify said for me.
okay,
I also
that's
made a
good.
playlist I make a playlist for all my projects, and I made one for Cabbage Daddy. So
Oh,
if
there you
anyone
go.
wants to listen to what I was listening to while working on it, that's
Oh, that's
my
cool.
site.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what's your favorite color?
My favorite color,
Yeah.
maybe yellow.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay. What would be your go-to date night food?
Go-to date night food. Um, so I'm like quite nervous when I go on dates. So something probably light and probably won't
Yeah.
make me too bloated. I think I
I
don't know,
think
maybe
that, yeah, well, sushi, I think is a very good,
I was just gonna say that.
yeah, because and also you're not likely to spill,
Hmm. Yeah.
which like if a burger you could spill on you, that would just be a
I
bad
think, yeah. I
situation.
mean, if I'm like in a happy and long-term relationship, I love burgers and pizza. So like, we can do that then. But
Yeah,
first dates, I would say like it's easy answer, but sushi. Yeah.
yeah, good choice. Okay, what would be your go-to date night activity if you're going out and doing something?
Date night activity now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm calling in from Montreal, so it's quite cold here, and we actually have a
Oh,
winter
right.
storm going right now. So I would say something indoors. I mean,
Yeah,
I love staying in, so maybe watch a movie at home.
that'll be good.
Yeah.
Okay, which do you like better, dogs or cats?
What a controversial question. I would
Yeah.
say, I mean, the thing is, um I think dog people don't like cats. But I think cat people love both. I love both
Yeah.
dogs and cats. I would say I'm probably more of a cat person though.
Yeah. There's a lot more dog people than cat people, but I think you nailed it. I think that's probably why, is
Yeah, I
that
mean,
cat
dogs are so
people like
cute.
both.
Yeah. I had dogs growing up, but I think I would probably adopt a
Yeah.
cat now.
Well, I always joke that cats, you have to earn their love. Dogs just give it. But
Are
once
you,
you got there with a cat, like
it's true. Are
it's
you a cat
real.
person?
Well, I'm a little allergic, so I can't be a real cat person, but I like cats, and once I get any animal, it just takes me a second to kind of get to know them,
Yeah.
and then we can become friends.
You like working for their love.
Yeah. All right, which do you like better, beaches or mountains?
Mountains, and we'll be seeing
Mhm.
plenty of them in Utah.
Yes, yeah, but don't be disappointed that I mean, you probably will be a break, but this year has been a very, very light year for snow.
Mm.
So don't be disappointed.
I'm sure it'll
Very little
be
snow.
either way warmer than what I'm used to.
Like it's seriously been we have been setting records. We had days in December that were in the high 60s. It's been crazy. So yeah, I was talking to somebody yesterday from Tunisia and he was like, I can't wait to get to Utah. And I'm like, oh no. It's so disappointed.
Oh yeah, that would be unfortunate for the skiers.
But what's your favorite holiday to celebrate?
I am a very like I love Christmas. I'm like a pretty
Yeah.
festive person. So
Okay.
I'm also born like late December on the 29th.
Oh,
So
wow.
that
Yeah.
whole like the few 2 weeks Saturnalia is like my favorite time of the year.
Oh, that's cool. Last question. What is your favorite animated film if you had to pick all time?
Favorite animated film of all time? That's a really tough question. Um, well, it's really tough. I'm just gonna mention what's on my letterbox because like, I don't know if it's like
Okay.
really my favorite, but I'm like it's something I think that's uh influenced my work a lot. I also think it's just such a strong animated feature film, and that's Paprika by Satoshi Kon.
You're actually the second person
Oh,
who,
really?
yeah, I think
I
in
should have
these
said something
interviews
more
I've done.
unique.
It's so good. Very good. Well, you did it. Answered all the questions. Thank you so much, and congrats on the short. I hope you have a great time at Sundance, and yeah, maybe I'll see you there in Park City.
I hope so. Thank you so
Very
much for
good.
the fun questions.
Yeah. So if people want to follow you on your social media, you say you have Letterbox, things like that. How do they do that?
So my site is my Korean name. It's An Eunhae, so ANEUNHAE.com. My social media handle is it's a bit silly the name, but my handle is the Pure Grace Ann, and I'm mostly on Instagram.
Great. Well, we'll try to put all of that in the description so people can follow you. And thanks again for talking with us.
Thank you.
All right. We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies Merch Store.
Are you looking for that perfect gift for the postable, hardy, or hallmarky in your life?
What about getting that t-shirt or hoodie that will help you stand out at your next holiday party?
Now is the time to check out the Hallmarkies merch store.
Full of festive designs by artists like Jessica Miller, Carrie from Hallmark Comics, and more.
You can even have more than just shirts, but totes, cell phone cases, notebooks, mugs, and more.
And it isn't just Hallmark. We have designs for Anna Green Gables, Man from Snowy River, The Nanny, and more.
Every purchase at the merch store goes to help support the podcast and allows us to make the great content you know and love.
There are frequent sales, so go to tpublic.com/stores/hallmarkies or see the link in the description.
That's tpublic.com/stores/hallmarkies. We'd like to thank Grace for coming on the podcast. This was so much fun to get to talk with her. I really enjoyed getting to know her better. I hope you did too. Let me know what you think about all the things that we talked about in the comment section. And make sure you check out my playlist with all of my Sundance content, both my reviews and also all of my interviews from this year and every other year. Would love to hear your thoughts on all of those. These are just such cool animators, so it's a great opportunity. If you are listening on iTunes, please leave your ratings and reviews. Really appreciate that. And if you are watching on YouTube, please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Appreciate that so much. We also have our Patreon group, which is the biggest way you can support everything we're doing. You get to be part of the watch-alongs and other cool experiences. And also we have the merch store. You can hashtag Animation Junkie shirts and more fun stuff. Definitely check out the merch store. And thanks again to Grace. Really appreciate it. And we'll talk to y'all later. Bye.